know why you didn't make the A's. I was like, why? She's like, the coach said you're too fat. I was like, oh. And I just remember that time on, I was like, I'm not going to be fat anymore. Yeah, that's when I started, like, when I was playing proper at the time. I didn't play 10 until I got to high school, like fully. I remember one day Razor just called me. It was like, oh, welcome to the Crusaders. And I remember just like, with all my mates, we were just like, ended the call, we were just like, yeah. I felt good in preseason, like I had a good preseason, like I was feeling good, rolled into round one, feeling good, and then I think that's the first time I've probably felt pressure. Like, yeah, the 10 on the field in Super Rugby, like, yeah, that's a big part, but a massive part is off the field, how you drive your week. It was hard, like, it's hard being young and just telling, like, you know, the likes of All Blacks, I need you to do this, I need you to do this. I don't understand that. I always think to myself in those moments, if I was to just sit back and watch someone else do that, I'd just be like, wanting to do it, you know? So I'm just like, well, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Hey guys, welcome to the What a Lad podcast. And before we get into this episode, our good friends at NordVPN have decided to give What a Lad listeners, that's you, the gift that keeps on giving by giving you the best possible discount on your next NordVPN plan, which includes 4 months extra for free on any 2-year plan. What I love about a VPN is that when I'm on the road, I do not miss a thing by being able to change my virtual location to the one where it needs to be. So no live sport will be missed. And the benefit of NordVPN is that it's the fastest VPN in the world, no buffering, no lag, and you've got the ability to connect one NordVPN account to 10 separate devices. To get the NordVPN discount, go to nordvpn.com/whatalad. You'll get 4 months extra for free on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with the NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast description below. What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad. What a lad. Well, today I'm lucky enough to be joined by one of the most exciting talents in New Zealand rugby right now. At just 21 years old, this man has all the attributes to be one of the greats. He's fast, he's tough, he has an unreal skill set and a goosey of doom. He burst onto the scene starring for Hamilton Boys before signing with Waikato and the Crusaders straight out of school. He's already worn the black jersey with the New Zealand Māoris and he has a huge future ahead of him. He's also a massive lad. It is, of course, the great Taha Kemara. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Long time coming. Just saying, tapped all the boys on the shoulder at training and then finally got the nod. So grateful.
You've been waiting for your moment.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a day. So, grateful to be here.
And your moment has come.
Yeah, ready to rip into the last few years, yeah.
Who's your favourite one that you've listened to?
What's his name?
I know you're a big...
Is it Charlie Go?
Oh, Charlie Go.
I remember it was one of those ones that, I don't know if I don't really know him. And watched it. I was just headphones on. I remember I was on the plane and I was just pissing myself by myself, mate.
Well, I thought you were going to say Macca.
Oh, no, that one as well. I'm going to pull that one out again in a couple of weeks.
Oh, but you've been through a lot in the last especially the 3 years. Your introduction into professional rugby's been eventful. Injuries, form highs and lows, and worn the black jersey. You've been through a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot more than probably a normal 21-year-old would have really gone through. So I think it's taught me a lot, though. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. I think I had to mature a bit younger than most would have to, but I think that's sort of how I'd want it anyway. So I think I've learned a lot, obviously the hard way as well, which has been pretty tough to go through. But I think I've got sort of come out the other side a better person, better player. Yeah,
what's been the key to making those learnings? Because you've sped it up. Like you say, you're only 21. Feels like you've been around for ages, especially in the Crusader environment, especially this year. You've grown up. You're like a 28-year-old leading the team around at the moment.
Yeah, I think when I first came out of school, I pretty much got thrust straight into the NPC, fully signed. So I was pretty much a kid being around adults, and I remember D-Mac was in the team that time when he came back from Japan, and I remember just learning so much off him, and that was probably what kickstarted my career. So I think, and then onwards, got signed with the Crusaders, obviously, and then being around Rich, those types, Scotty Hansen, coaching like that, Razor. So I think I just got sort of the resources given to me sort of fairly young. So I think in those types of people, you got to grow up quickly in the rugby environment. You can't really be, dead weight, I guess. So for me, it's about just learning my first couple of years. Now it's being my third year in Super Rugby. It's probably time where, so we've probably talked about it as well, where it's time to sort of apply all those lessons as well. And I think this year's been sort of a good start to that, but obviously lots to grow. But yeah, I've just been loving applying, getting consistent minutes, that type of thing.
Yeah, mate, you look like you're loving it. And you mentioned the guys that you've worked with, D-Mac, Rich, James O'Connor at the moment, the coaches you've had. You've had pretty awesome guys to work with and to learn from.
Yeah, it's been unreal. Like even like Aaron Cruden, still probably
true.
a massive mentor for me. Like Beaver, he was in the Waikato environment my first couple of years.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a coach. So I've been around like world class, like all time greats of the game, and I've just been soaking it up. Like they're all different in their own right. So I think I've just been taking little things from each of their books and trying to apply them to my game, knowing that I'm sort of trying to be my own player as well. Yeah. So I've just learned a lot, and they're still good mentors of mine. I could message them any of them at any time, and I know that they'd take the time out of their day to help me out. Yeah.
Even saw you having dinner with DC last week. That's how far your mentors go.
But I remember being sweaty as when he walked in. And then I knew he was going to present the jerseys, and I was giving my hands to white from number 7. I was like, and he called me up, and I was like, "Hey mate, how you going?" And I just like head down, and then I remember just getting a tap on the shoulder at dinner, and he sat down next to me, and I was just like, almost felt like I was in an interview. I was saying all the right things and tried not to get on the wrong side. But he was a good fellow. He gave me a bit of advice after I asked a couple questions, and he's just pretty much a good lad, which is the best thing to know about people like that.
Yeah, was he your favourite player growing up?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think everyone's favourite player as well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm keen to hear a little bit more about the start of your journey and growing up in a very small town up north. What was it called?
Opotiki. Yeah, I grew up in a place called Opotiki. My parents currently live in Umaio, which is where I'm from, but Opotiki is probably like the nearest, not major town, it's only small, but it's...
How big would that be?
It's only a few thousand people. Oh, yeah. It's tiny, but probably pulls above its weight. There's quite a few like professional athletes that are probably from out of there, like Luca Connor.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Collier, he's the Sevens guy.
Yeah.
Yourself? Yeah, take that. But yeah, I think I sort of moved there. I was sort of living there and just travelling back and forth. Sometimes my grandparents back in Umaio, but that was probably where I started my primary school career. Acted like I went to primary school there. And then, just pretty much lived there till I was year 7, I think. Then moved to Hamilton. So.
Did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I had 2 older sisters. One full sister, then sort of my oldest sister's like my parents they call it whāngai, which is like pretty adopting almost in a way. But my oldest sister has her parents and they have a good relationship, that type of thing. But she sort of my parents sort of took her in because mum was a deputy principal at Opotiki College, and then my older sister was a bit of a mischief, so mum sort of started bringing her around home, and then she ended up just being part of the family. And now me and my sister just call her other sister. So
true. Yeah. And when you were growing up, you were quite a chubby boy from all accounts. It's probably the number one thing that's coming through the questions is getting to talk about how big he was, or
had so much hinu on the hips. It was silly, Like I was thinking about it, because I knew it'd be a question that'd come up, and my dad was telling me I used to come home every day after primary school and cook up 2 packets of Mega Ring noodles. Get 6 pieces of white bread with butter and just smash noodle sandwiches every day after school. And I'd be still a bit, need a bit of a sweet treat. So I remember I used to cut up a banana. I'd be this is healthy. Put it in a bowl, get a whipped cream and just half a can pretty much, drown it in maple syrup, eat it. And that was my lunch or my afternoon tea, and then go into dinner, roll in, probably have something else like that. So
diet of champions.
It was crazy. Mum used to I remember mum used to we'll get on holiday and mum would be like, son, we're like, what do we do today? And we'll be like, I don't know. Mum would be like, we should go for a run. I was just like, no. And mum used to force me to go out for a run. I used to be running angry as
How old are you at this point?
I would be 8, 9, or 8 to this would have been 8 to 10, 11.
Yeah.
I used to just be running with my sister and angry as mum's bullying me, all this stuff. I remember one run I was running, and I'd just made I tried for Waikato Touch. Yeah. And I'd made the B team, and I'd
Were you still big?
Yeah, I was still big. I was still big, and I thought I was one of the best players there. And I was like, what the hell? Why didn't I make the A's?
Were you?
I thought I was at the time. Or my skills and that were there. And then I remember halfway, we finished a run, and I was angry at mum. Why'd you make me do this? She sat me down and she's like, son, you know why you didn't make the A's? I was like, why? She's like, the coach said you're too fat. I was like, 10, 11, I'll be 12 at the time. I was just And I just remember that time on, I was like, I'm not going to be fat anymore. And just like ended up, yeah.
What'd you do about it?
I think my year 8 year, you know how they do like weight? They used to have weight, like roller mills, I think it's called. Under 57. So I remember like rocking up to trials and I was too heavy to trial. You have to be like 60 and under.
That's brutal, eh?
And I was overweight. So I had to like go home. I think like the next week I went to the next trial and ended up being under 60. So I like got to trial and then pretty much from then on I just lost weight.
Yeah.
And that's when I started, like when I was playing prop at the time as well.
Oh, were you a prop?
I didn't play 10 until I got to high school, like fully.
Far out.
I was prop pretty much my whole career, right? I used to just like a sort of a backs prop. Like I'd tap it past me and I'd run, like you know how that you do.
Yeah.
I'd just run, step, try to put kicks in, and then.
So you're a skillful prop.
I'd like to say, yeah. I still like had all my skills and like natural skill, but I was just the physical side letting me down. I think.
Yeah, the transitions usually you work your way into those positions, but you've got not often you hear a prop go to 10.
I remember I always want to play 10, but I remember every coach would be like, nah, you just sit in the front row just because I probably look like it. I used to love it though, like. And then
what, the front row?
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh, because it was
scrumming?
Like, yeah, I'd scrum. I was pretty big, so it wasn't an issue. But I remember my year 7 to 8, I used to play half game at prop, and then that's when I started playing 10, and I'd go second half play 10.
Oh yeah.
So I'd just like come on the second half with number 1 on my back, playing 10, kicking goals, and it was just like people used to look at me sideways, and I was like, oh. But I loved it though.
And was rugby like the dream for you at this point? Like, were you thinking rugby could be a career?
Yeah, I think at the time, like, Noah was the same. Like, we used to play touch. They used to be like the sport we'd like. That was like our, like, we almost looked forward to the summer rather than play rugby in the winter.
Yeah.
So we used to like play touch all summer, go rugby, and almost just like started playing just for fun, I guess. Well, we played all our lives, but yeah. And then probably when I got to high school was probably when I was like, oh yeah, I want to really knuckle down.
Yeah.
Especially meeting, obviously, Noah's old man, Nigel Hotham. Like, yeah, he's crazy. Yeah.
He would have got you fit.
I remember the first day, he just drills it into you, and like you almost feel like even there's so much that you get to the summer, you're only year 9, and you're like feeling guilty. You're not training every day. So I was just like, Mum and Dad didn't really have to motivate me at that point. Mum didn't have to take me out for those runs anymore. So I just used to, because he was probably the main catalyst for it.
True. So how did he do that? Like, what's the motivation tactic there?
I think at Hamilton Boys, the biggest motivation was the first 15.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you were year 9, he took the year 9, it was called like Elite Sport, which is like a rugby academy. And I remember he just like, he did it well. Like, he'd bring in like year 13s, you look up to your year 13s. Like Quinn Tupai was year 13 when I was there, and he'd bring like the likes of him in, and you'd be like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then everyone would just buy in pretty much. And from then on, like, you're just training, like fully training, like probably too much than you should, to be fair. But we used to just love it. Like, and then obviously you just push through. There's so many boys there, so you can't really like rest on your laurels and try to chill, I guess.
And was that on your own back, that training, or was that as a group? Or
we used to, year 9, like my year 8, I probably started training when I had to like sort of lose all that weight, and that's probably when I probably was ahead, like started like pulling ahead away from my mates. And then I got year 9, and I remember I was still trained, like I trained hard, and then because we were good friends with obviously Noah as well. Yeah. So I remember like sort of he'd push me to train with older boys, and then I remember going to first team testing when I was year 9 and like never touched a weight in my life, and he's just getting me in there, making me train, and then from then on I used to just like, honestly, I just loved it. Sure. It ended up being part of me, just sort of, even now, like in off season I feel guilty sometimes just having a couple of days off or something like that.
And how did your diet change? When did you stop your noodle sandwiches?
Yeah, I had to cut it all out just because of that, the weight, like losing it all for roller mills.
Yeah.
But Mum was pretty good because Mum's pretty like athletic. Like she used to obviously cooked all my meals, so she almost made me eat healthy. And then once I got to high school, like when I met obviously Nigel and I was in his class, like I was real disciplined, probably more disciplined than I am now, to be fair.
You weren't boarding, or were you boarding at Hamilton?
Nah, so I moved up to Hamilton when I was year 7.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was year 7, I was like, I was getting to that age where like, so Portuguese probably not, like sort of, it's probably like gangs and like, kids are getting up to mischief. And that's probably the age where I was starting to like, head was starting to turn and stuff like that. And then Mum, Dad more so was like, nah, you need to go somewhere where, so I had actually moved up to Te Aumuru, which is sort of out of Hamilton.
Yeah.
And with my family, they just moved me up there just knowing that I was going to go to high school. So I went up there when I was like year 7, did my intermediate in Hamilton. So then, that was just all I was always going to go to Hamilton Boys. So that was sort of, and then they had my mum and dad had like a year of like probably setting themselves up to being able to get a house in Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I went up there and then they moved as well, my sister. And then we just, pretty much lived Hamilton ever since.
That's cool. Did you get into any trouble up north before you moved down? What?
I could, like, because my dad was a police officer.
Oh, was he?
So he was real, like, I used to always like ask, can I go to my mates? And he would always like, certain mates he'd be sweet, but there was certain mates, like now looking back, like one of my mates, like I remember staying at his house and just like waking up in the middle of the night, people like knocking on the door, and I remember my mate being like, don't look, just stay asleep. I was like, heck, could just smell like weed and like things like that. And I remember my dad, he was probably good for it, like he'd know who I could hang around with, who not to, and then he sort of sheltered me in that sense, which I used to get angry about. But I think little things like stealing, like you probably started getting into that when I started.
You're a big thief.
Yeah. Oh, stealing chocolate bars. So that's probably added to the issue of being chubby.
And whipped cream.
Yeah.
All the supermarkets out of whipped cream.
And noodles and bread.
Oh, it's so funny. And then when you make Hamilton Boys, so obviously year 9, your progression through, you made it year 11, was it? Or
Yeah,
10?
year 11.
Year 11.
I pretty much, I think my first year was year 11,
Yeah. What was that like?
I loved it, Like, I think year 9, on my year 10 year, there was a bit of chat saying like, you could potentially go to second 15 and, start training with the first.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, my dad would be like, nah, like you just need to enjoy your rugby, which is fair enough. And I played under 15s then.
And you're a 10 at this point?
I was a 10, yeah. And then my year 11 year, that's probably when I sort of made the first team. We went to Japan and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up playing pretty well that year. So ended up like being like a regular starter. And then, played I think we went to top 4 that year. We lost, but then year 12, year 13, played first team, which was the best time of my life looking back on it.
Mate, you must have been bloody talented, because Hamilton Boys is such a prestigious school. They've won it. They win that New Zealand comp almost every year, and to be starting at 10 for them at year 11 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I used to, like, because I played touch, sevens, like all that, year 9, 10, and then I sort of got mixed with the older boys, so I almost felt like normal. So I was playing year 11, like starting, and I remember like people were like approaching me, but I was so young, I was just like, I'm just playing rugby. I didn't realise how probably big it was, like playing at a school like that. But like, I just was enjoying footy, like loving it every week. And I was with Noah as well, so me and him were just like almost just mucking around playing rugby, which as you should at high school. And then year 12 I probably sort of started getting a bit more attention, like New Zealand schools and stuff like that. And then I think that's when I had to get an agent when I was then. So I was just like, because my dad was sort of like, no, we don't need to worry about that stuff as a young guy. So because he was sort of chat with like, other franchises or stuff like that. So I was just trying to stay away from it. Or my dad was trying to keep me away from it, which was...
Was this at year 12?
Yeah, I remember when I was might have been year 10.
Oh,
and,
far out.
I can't remember who it was. Someone sort of threw like something, like not an offer, but interest.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sort of...
League?
Nah, I was rugby.
Oh, was it?
It's like an academy. They were trying to like give me so I could...
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't really remember, but I remember my dad, I was like, year 10, I was like, take it, that's us. And it wasn't even any money or anything like that. I was just like, take it, that's us. And my dad was just like, mate, you're a little kid, just leave it. But I think that was probably the best thing for me, was just not even worrying about that type of footy until I was probably year 13 when I sort of started worrying about it, which was, it made me enjoy footy a bit more.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you've gone through all that with Noah. Hey, like, where did you guys first meet?
We sort of had family friend like connections when we were born pretty much.
Oh,
like,
true.
And then I didn't fully like start like we were probably year 7.
Oh, yeah.
Year 6, yeah. Probably year 6 when I first met him, year 7, and we were like mates. And then probably started like started playing touch together, and then we started spending more time together. And then actually our older sisters are like best mates too.
Oh, true.
So like we pretty much just ended up year 7 onwards just hanging out more than we probably wanted to be fair. It was just like dragged in. Our families are close as well.
Yeah.
So I ended up playing, year 7, year 8, and then high school obviously with Nige, and then because Nige took me under his wing sort of, and forced me into it. Not forced us, actually. Make us train together. And we'd just sort of, just grew up that way. And then here we are today.
It's cool how you both ended up here and both doing good things. And on the big
it's
stage.
it's funny. Yeah, we like think about it. Like even at training, like we look at each other and it's just like I know exactly what you're thinking. And sometimes it's like but nah.
Quick to give them a spray too. You're happy to spray them.
Yeah, I think that's our relationship. Like giving each other positivity. Is like, are you all right, man? You all right? So even if I know I've done something good when I've done something and he doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
I'm like, absolutely, I've got it. So that's when I know. But like if you've done anything little bit off, or both ways, we're going after each other. We just compete as well. Don't like we want to be better than each other.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And you mentioned touch a couple of times there. How big of an influence did you feel that had on your game and your skill set?
I probably would credit like a lot of it, a lot of my rugby career to touch, probably more than I would credit rugby probably. Like I think like my instinct and stuff like that was all from touch, just because I used to I'd almost look up to touch players when I was younger more than I would look up to rugby players, just because I was like Mitza Graham, he's been a good mentor for me. He's like the touch open, the New Zealand men's captain, and I remember me and Noah, like, I want to play for them, I want to do this, so we'd just play touch and even now I went and watched Nationals the other weekend. I want to play again. Yeah, and I think when we were young, if touch was professional, like I would have rather played touch than rugby.
I remember Noah saying that as well. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just a good time with your mates, and the sport as well. It's like probably undervalued for what it is. When you go watch now, you're like, that's actually like unreal.
How do they make that professional?
We were thinking about this, like maybe the star would be putting in the Olympics or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, but you'd probably have to get like, someone would have to break the ice as like a rugby player probably and go across.
Well, Noah said, I remember him saying, it was something like he wants to win a Rugby World Cup, sevens Olympic and touch World Cup as well. That was like his ultimate dream.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably the same for me as well. I really want to play a touch World Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't just like walk back in thinking you're going to be, because watching Nationals on the weekend, like, those guys are skillful. Yeah. We have to lose a couple of kilos.
You know how to do that.
I don't want to get back to those days.
And sevens?
Yeah, that's something I'll definitely be open to.
Yeah.
100%. I think my goals at the moment are all just 15s, like really want to sort of nail that over the next few years. And then I think once I've sort of hopefully can establish myself and then start looking as I'm a bit older to those type of things.
Because there's probably one thing people don't realise is how quick you actually are, eh? Like you'd be top 3 in the Crusaders, surely. Like, you're rapid.
I don't know, like depends, I reckon over the first like 10, 20 I'm all good.
Yeah.
Haven't really opened up, so I don't reckon I got it.
And then your pathway from school, or you went on to win the New Zealand comp, captain too, weren't you?
Yeah, we like Super 8, which is like,
Super 8, that was it, yeah.
But and then I think COVID hit my year 12 and 13, so everything just got canned.
Oh, niggly.
And we had a pretty sharp team, year 12, 13. But obviously COVID, so everything got canned.
And being a leader, how'd you find that?
Like, looking back, I was like, honestly, like probably the opposite to I am now. Like I was hard as on boys, like training, like I had like a young boy, I'm still mates with him now. I'm pretty much good mates with his older brother, and he was year 11 when I was year 13, and I remember just like pushing him to the absolute limit. Hurry up, get on the line. Like, and I remember Nigel come up to me and he's like, mate, you need to chill on this guy. Like he doesn't want to play rugby anymore. And I was just like, oh my God. I used to just be hard and like buy-in. Like, I was just like, I was crazy. Like I'd be like in my gym. My dad bought me like a sort of a half gym setup. It would be like a Saturday night, and like me and a few of my good mates from first team would just be in there just like midnight pretty much, just ripping weights and like,
you were fully committed.
I pretty much was like, my mind had been callous my whole high school career, so when I got to year 13 I was just like loving it.
And then your pathway to Waikato and the Crusaders, how hard was that decision, and how'd you make that decision?
I remember my year 13 year, because I sort of had quite a bit of offers my year 13 year, my start, and I remember telling my dad, like, I really want to sign my contracts before the season starts so I can just worry about footy, because I think sometimes I'd play and I'd look and I'd see like, I don't know, like someone wearing like a Highlanders jacket or like a Chiefs or Crusaders, and I was like, oh, like, and I started to play on me a little bit.
It's just a fan.
Yeah. And it's just someone's dad wearing a jacket. So yeah, probably like, yeah. And then I just was like, I'll get this done. And then I think I had a bit of interest from a few franchises. And then I think the last two that I got down to at school was Chiefs and Crusaders.
Yeah.
I remember I'd like had my mind made up. I was like, I'm going to stay at the Chiefs and Waikato and stuff like that. And then I remember I was actually at my grandparents' house down on the East Coast, and I remember getting a call and it was Razor.
Oh yeah.
And this is at school too, so he's just like, yeah, like, but he was good. Like, he was just yarning to me about life, and I remember after that call, it just put me straight back in the middle. I was like, oh, Razor's just called me, like, and then I think ended up coming to the conclusion that I was going to stay because it was sort of a full EPC deal straight out of school, so I can't really turn that down. Stayed there with the Chiefs, and then pretty much played out my year. First year out of school, I remember going to Chiefs under-20s. Yeah. I played like pretty well, and then Crusaders came back. And I remember, and when I did miss, because I like sort of my parents said to me, if you're not going to go to the Crusaders, make sure because they obviously showed a lot of faith in you, so message them and tell them like you're not going. So a bit of respect. Messaging Webby at the time. Oh yeah. And he said to me, I messaged him like, oh, this message, I'm so sorry, like made a decision. And I remember Webby messaging me back and said da da da, and he's like, this doesn't mean that we're not going to come back for you in the future. Oh yeah. And I remember, all good. And then the next year, played Chiefs 20s, and then the Crusaders came back on, like pretty keen. And I was like, sweet. And as that year went on, like, chats got more serious and more serious. And then, because I was too young at the time to sign a full deal. So I think New Zealand, they had to pull like a couple strings, had to do a bit. And then, I ended up like coming through. And then I remember one day Razor just called me, and I was like, oh, welcome to the Crusaders. And I remember just like, with all my mates, we were just like, like ended the call, we're just like, had a massive night that night. And then just started like that.
So what, you were 19?
19
at the time. Just signed a 3-year deal with the Crusaders.
I used to like, I think then I was just so naive. I just used to be like, I'm like in there. And then you actually look back and you're like, far out, that's like pretty crazy.
How'd you feel coming down?
Like I think my first, because I think, he come out for that 2-week preseason. So I was all good. I was like, I'm excited to go down. And then I came back home, was around my mates for New Year's and stuff like that. And then I had to leave again. And after New Year's, you're there for the long haul. You're not coming home. I remember that just hit me like a trucker. And I was just like, nah. I remember I was like texting my missus. I was telling her like, I just want to come home. Like, I just don't want to be here. It wasn't because like the Crusaders, I'd never moved away from home, and I thought it was like going to be cool, like living, and it's tough, like for you when you're 19, you're just, and I just hated it. I just wanted to like go home, and then my parents sort of just like, just stay in it. And then I started meeting boys, lived with Tams and Christian at the time, and they were such a big help because they both had done the same. So I just ended up fitting in, meeting mates, and being here with Noah as well was just a big help as well.
I thought you were living with Noah, but was that the following year?
That was the following year. Well, he lived like with Sione just a couple houses down. So pretty much living with us.
But a bit of a wake-up call in terms of cooking and cleaning and doing all that stuff.
I was just, and because Tams and Christian aren't the best people to learn off as well. So we were like, I was probably the most like mature in that sense. Hey,
the blind leading the blind.
I was terrible, mate. Like we'd have like a Jenga of rubbish inside our kitchen. No one would want to take the rubbish out. I was 19 underneath. Mum was doing it for me my whole life. And those two, holy, no issues in the world.
How did you find that affect your rugby? Feeling like that?
Just like mentally, I just would come into rugby park and probably a bit like thinking about other things. And probably like at the time, looking back, like what was in front of me was like, I'm not saying I didn't make the most of it. I did, but I think I could have got a little bit more out of it by just, I don't know, probably just saying something to someone. Like I remember one day Tom sort of was like, oh, are you all good? And I was like, yeah. And I just messaged my mum, like, I want to come home. Like, I'm done. And then he literally, I don't know how, and he just walked in my room and he said, are you all good? And I remember just being like, nah, and it's almost just breaking down to him. And then he just like, from then on, just helped me out, made me feel welcome. Like his partner Alice as well, like they were such a big help, and Christian as well, and his partner. So they almost were like my second parents. Hey, Alice at times, like Alice was like my mum. Hey, telling me I'd swear, wait, watch your mouth. Like, I was like, then that was like good for me. Like I loved it.
Oh, that's cool. And then the following year, this was the year Richie's gone, so there's an opportunity that had opened up for that Crusaders 10 jersey. How were you feeling at this point?
Oh, at the start, I was confident. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm ready. Like, I've done all the work. I've had a year with Rich. And Scotty's like real good for me. And then I think like I felt good in preseason. Like, I had a good preseason. Like, I was feeling good. Rolled into round one, feeling good. And then I think like that's the first time I've properly felt pressure. Like,
Yeah.
because I thought like, driving the team's all good. Like, just didn't think about what I needed to do probably in my preparation.
Yeah.
And I just like, I know the maps, but I didn't like bone deep, like deep down, like you didn't. Like,
Yeah.
like now I know like you need to be not like the back of your hand. And I think when push comes to shove, like in the big moments, like I probably would just step back and like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then that's probably showed in my game as well. I was just a bit second guessing myself, and then it just flowed like off field onto field, and then I think it sort of dictated like my life outside of footy as well. I was just like, nah, but no, it was probably the biggest learning curve for me.
How'd you get through all that? How'd you handle it all?
My family was massive.
Yeah.
Like I used to just because mum doesn't care about rugby.
Yeah.
My mum was massive. She would just like always like every time I'd call my mum, I'd feel better after it. Like, yeah, sweet. And then probably I think like I struggled so much through it. I think you guys realised and you guys let me go home for that.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks. I feel like that like set me up as well. I got to go home, be around my family, started playing club footy, and then I think that refreshed me. I came back and I just felt a lot better.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you go up to Waikato and we're expecting a big year from you in the NPC. And what was it, second game or first game? You
Yeah, it was my
rupture your
second game.
intestine.
Yeah. I ruptured my bowel. So
Bowel. Far out.
yeah, it was. I remember like before that season, the MC, I was like, I obviously had this bit of a slump in Super, and I was just like, I'm going back to the NPC to just put my foot down and just go after it.
Yeah.
And I remember like, I was sweet, like trained well, like got all through it, and then got to I think it was like round 2 or 3, and I like come around the back on a hook, slipped, someone's knee just caught my stomach. I was like lying on the ground. I was like, this feels just like winded.
Yeah.
And then it felt at the time I was way sore than being winded, but I was like, nah, like didn't think that could be serious. And then, and I remember like I didn't want to be the first ever rugby player to golf being winded, so I was like, get up, run through it. So I was just running around like all good. And then I played like another 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I still was there, and I was like, nah, this should be all right. Keep going. And I kicked a goal, and I was running back, and I was like, nah, this doesn't feel right. And then made a few tackles, and then I remember just catching a pass and just ripping on, and I just like, this pain just hit me, it dropped to my knee, lay on the ground, and I was just like, I'm not getting up. Like, no way I'm getting up. And I just had cold sweats. As soon as the adrenaline wore off, like cold sweats straight away, and I just knew straight something wasn't right.
Yeah.
So I had to get carried to the match day doctor, and I remember as soon as I lay on that bed, like I was just boom, 10 out of 10 pain, because I think the adrenaline had worn off. Worn off. So yeah, and I just remember being like, that was the first time I'd like properly cuddled my dad, because I was just in so much pain, just like screaming like, fuck, this is. And because I remember the match day doctor, like everyone was just like, oh no, like might just be this, and I was just like, fuck. My dad sort of knew, because he looked at me and like, nah, he won't be in this.
Knew you were
much
tough.
Yeah, he was just like, he won't be in this much pain if it was this. Like,
Yeah. He's not winded.
Yeah,
Trust me, points.
he's not winded. And, oh, mate, I was just, yeah. And then, yeah, went to hospital, pretty much got surgery that night.
Far out. How dangerous was it? How close was it to being
Yeah,
more
it's pretty
serious?
bad. I didn't realise till I woke up.
Especially when you kept playing.
Yeah, I think, like, because you can go into septic shock, because that's like where like feces come out. And so if it gets into your bloodstream, like, it's like terrible for you.
Oh, shit.
So I think, like, it was pretty good that we got straight into surgery. But, yeah, I just remember, like, I wish at the time, like, I went off a bit earlier, but me being me, trying to just push through it. But I just thought, it wouldn't be anything, because no one's really heard of a ruptured bowel in rugby. So it's like unheard of. So yeah, until I come out of surgery and I seen all my family like there at the hospital, I was like, oh shit, this is actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what's the rehab for a ruptured bowel?
For the first like month, it's just like trying to just like be normal again. Like I couldn't even like, I remember I lost 10 kilos.
Oh, jeez.
Young Taha would have loved that.
Needed that earlier.
I needed that earlier. Give it to me at the start of my career. Holy, be all black by now. Nah, but I I remember just like lost all that weight, and then it was just like getting up out of I started just getting out of my hospital bed and walking to the door and back, and I was just buggered, like no energy after that. I'd sit down, have to sleep, go for a nap, and then
jeez,
fuck, it was tough. And then I just carried on. Like Mum would just walk me around. I ended up going around like the hospital where it was, and just day by day just started doing that.
Yeah,
and I was just like had no energy. Like visitors will come and I'll be sweet, and then just like nah, it's like probably need to like go now. So yeah, it was like crazy. It's like probably didn't like. I wasn't as gutted about the injury just because I was happy I was all good. Yeah, like, that was probably the main thing. Yeah, and I was like, Mum, like all my parents were the same as well.
Yeah, was it ever a career-ending potential? No,
I think the thing they said was like it was more mental. Like because it's like such a big surgery. Even like now I'm sweet, but it took me ages to properly. Like, even when I was sweet, like it took me ages to properly like dive on a ball. Or, want to go into contact and actually want to go into it.
Yeah.
And like not till probably like after Christmas, like I was probably like, okay, I just need to get into it. And I sort of started doing a little bit of work with Toddy.
Yeah.
And just slowly eased my way back into it.
Yeah. And during that process, like obviously you needed a big season, but how did you learn the game, or how'd you get so much growth while recovering from a ruptured?
Yeah. I remember you rang me actually, and you just like, this is your time to properly like sit back and watch different types of footy.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh yeah. And I remember just like you'd send me clips and like, what do you see here? What did you do? And then I think that sort of started, okay, sweet. So I'd watch highlights and then watch the games of like, I don't know, top 14 games or something like that, and start like, and then I got to watch NPC from a lens, not having to like, actually watch it as a fan rather than a player.
Yeah.
And I remember just like, okay, sweet. This is what I want to try to do. And I think looking back on my like 2 years, I'd probably try to be a player I wasn't. Like, because obviously I'd been around big names and I was trying to like emulate them almost when I was playing.
Yeah.
So I knew, when I come back, like, and because I knew like this year my super was my year to like, I need to put my foot down. Like, I haven't had like a consistent year of footy.
Yeah.
So I knew sort of going into it, like I had a dead set plan. I knew I was going to get to preseason and just like get after it, like almost just nothing to lose, just go for it,
mate. And you could see it. It's been impressive to watch. Like, I don't think I'd seen a preseason as impressive as what you came back, and man, you were just dominating every day. And the growth that you'd done during that period was so cool. Not just on the field, but also the way you can control a room. You ask questions, telling jokes, mate. You slowed down. You're speaking up the front. You're just dominant now.
Yeah, I think like that was probably my main learning as well. I was like a 10 on the field in Super Rugby, like that's a big part, but a massive part is off the field, how you drive your week, because it sets up the boys as well. So I knew that was being a young player, like it's hard as well. You
don't think about that, eh? No one would think about that as a fan, how important that leadership is, and having that, I guess, the trust from the room that you can drive the team.
Yeah, 100%. Like I don't think fans know like every line there is like a 10's got to call a map which is like a play we're going to go to, or like there's a scrum, the 10's going to call it.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't know it, like the back of his hand, like you can see it, and you'll know when, so, and I think I just sort of had to embrace it and just like, nah, I'm going to back myself here.
Yeah.
Sort of being around the likes of Dave, Will, Scoot, those types of boys, like you must have to back your instinct as well, and they back it as well. Like I think when they sort of would start and ahhing is when they think you're not like dead set, you know what you're doing. So for me, it was about bone deep prep, owning it, and just knowing like backing myself, and I know that they'll back me as well.
It's so cool. I feel like someone like Riley Hoihepa, who came in, obviously not as talented or doesn't have the same skill set as you do, but just came in and just dominated the room with that sort of stuff, wasn't he? He was so good. He jumped up and said he's going to earn the trust and all that. He was pretty impressive from that. It would have been cool for you to see.
Yeah, 100%. Like his, like the way he would drive a week, and just him as a person, like how he connected with the boys. I took a leaf out of his book.
Yeah.
And like that was probably like a big learning for me. Our first year was just like owning it, because I think I like had all the like playing attributes and that type of thing, but I had to just. It was hard. Like it's hard being young and just telling like the likes of All Blacks, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. But I think, like as you said before, earning trust is probably the main thing. How you can do that, and I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I probably still like am learning about it as well. So yeah, it's about just I'm just enjoying it as I can.
Yeah, mate, you're looking like you are. And how are you handling the pressure of it all? Like you mentioned at the start, like you'd never felt like the pressure at that level. How are you finding it now, like in the 10 jersey, goal kicking, all these things that bring extra pressure?
I just like love it. Like honestly, I think if I always think to myself in those moments, if I was to just sit back and watch someone else do that, I'd just be like, wanting to do it, you know. So I'm just like, well, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
And like, especially being in the 10Gs, like times you're uncomfortable a lot in a week. Like you got to stand up in front of the team. You got to have conversations that sometimes are like
tough,
tough, and you get tough conversations as well because like boys are holding you to a high level as well. And I think on a game, like you finish a game, you win the game, you're probably like, he's the good thing. If you lose a game, like the 10's probably the first guy they're going to point to. So I've learned to just. I think the biggest one's social media, like just staying away from it. It's massive. I think that's where my second year, a lot of the pressure came from, was like, I'd just be like, read comments or something like that.
Yeah.
It just used to rattle me,
How do you avoid it now? You can't avoid it, can you?
Yeah, I think where to look and where not to. Like, if you've had a good, like even now, if I have a good game, I just don't read anything into it because if you read the good, I mean, Nigel used to say, you read the good, you're going to have to read the bad as well.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't even bother. Like, I just know, like, and Davey's pretty quick to pull me back to earth if I did get ahead of myself or Will or those types of boys. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's been unreal. Just like to be, even like, just not even reading into anything. Even like, people saying Crusaders are back. Like, we know inside our four walls, like what our mindset is. So it's just being about real strict in that regard.
Yeah.
But even, last year was just terrible looking at social media. I was about to just throw my phone in the river.
The account,
get the tap phone so I don't have to read comments.
And what about like the goal kicking? Obviously, like the last few weeks you've missed a few, which brings the extra pressure. How are you feeling in that space, and how do you get through those sort of ruts? Because in training you're kicking well, and then you get to the game and just they haven't gone over for whatever reason. But how are you feeling in that space? Yeah,
I think just like sitting down with Jock's been massive for my goal kicking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's been good or bad for that. Nah, he's been real good. Like, I think it's just getting to the game, as I said before, like just backing your instinct. Like kicking's like, for me, I just almost just me and the ball, just kick the ball. And when you get to a game, you have all these thoughts, like, okay, what do I need to do here? Whereas it's like, mate, you should kick the ball over. I think it just sort of, that sort of mantra, like sort of translates into my game as well. So if I play with instinct, I'll play well. If kicking the ball, it's just like kicking a ball.
Yeah.
So I think like hopefully when I get another opportunity, like I'm just going to not overthink it because that's probably where it goes wrong. It's not even sort of the technique. It's just what's up here.
Yeah.
What's probably bugging it at the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. And how, one thing I always struggle with was when I was kicking, how if I was kicking bad, how could I not let that affect the rest of my game? Like I'd come off the field, no matter how well I'd played, if I'd kicked bad, I feel like I'd had a shocker and it would sometimes ruin the rest of my game.
Yeah, 100%. Like you can't, like even on the weekend, like kicked poorly. I didn't actually play too bad like around the field, got the boys around, had a massive like good win against the Blues. But just personally, you're just like that's a few points gone begging. But just that standard you hold yourself to, you're just like, I wish like I needed to nail my role in that sort of in that moment. But obviously you don't take it away from the boys getting the win. Like it's just something deep down you're just like, but then, come Monday you're back on track trying to nail that.
Yeah. Mate, so good. And the New Zealand Maldives, like we've sort of skipped over that, but what was that experience like for you?
That was unreal. That was my favorite team I've ever been a part of.
Oh, that's cool.
Just because like rugby's not even the forefront of what you're trying to do. It's just been about being immersed in multiculture, that type of thing. And it's pretty hard being in Christchurch, figuring out multiculture. But like, it's just, I just loved it. Like we went to Japan. Yeah, we just went to Japan for a couple of weeks. And like the boys there, just like, you just connect with so many boys on deeper levels as well. So, and Floss was the coach.
Yeah, champion.
And like him, being around him, because obviously he coached me at Waikato, so he was real good. And everyone just being vulnerable and yeah, being in Japan's not the worst thing in the world to go play rugby. So,
Yeah. And did you feel like you're up to that level? Did you feel ready to wear the black jersey?
Nah, not really, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
I had the year I had, and I was just like, nah, I won't really get a crack. Didn't really come across my mind. And I remember being Floss, like, rings me the night before you're meant to leave. Like, hey, mate, you just met the Māori All Blacks. So I was like, oh, when's this? He's like, you got to be at the stadium at 8 a.m. in the morning. And I was just like, obviously rep. Unreal. But I'm just like, could you feel like rugby a bit earlier? Oh, right. Going to Japan for 2 weeks. And then, I just thought, like, I'm going to take this opportunity and be real, like, happy. And Riv was there as well. So that was good help being, like, comfortable around him as well. So, I just took, like, didn't really, like, want to think about it too much. I just went straight in and just loved it. Like good footy, being around your culture, like, especially as a Māori, like, there's something you want to tick off your bucket list, and getting that ticked off early was unreal.
Shit, yeah. How good. Yeah. And what are your plans sort of going forward?
Obviously this year, like, just really want to nail this year week by week. But I think for us as a team, like, we want to go win the title. I think that will, as a 10, that should lead you to, you know, whatever happens after that. But I think for me, it's just nailing Super Rugby. I think for me, I know how last year went. Like, I'm not taking anything for granted. So I'm just every week, like, named in the team, like, I'm just relishing it almost.
Yeah.
So knowing that, it's not going to be here forever. It's not given as well.
Yeah. Mate, what a mindset. Mindset of a champion.
Oh, far out.
And life after footy, what are you thinking? You got so many options.
Nah, I'm actually, I was thinking about that before I got here. I was like, fuck, I need to probably knuckle down on that. Holy, might start a podcast. Nah.
You'd be good on it. You're flowing.
No, I don't know, like, probably something with business or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking, like, hopefully if you have a good enough rugby career, opportunities will arise. Like,
yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, because my mum's always like, what's your plan B? What's your plan B?
Yeah,
I'm just like, nah. If you nail plan A, like, everything will lead from there, hopefully.
Yeah. And was that your plan from when you were younger? Like, you'd committed to rugby pretty early?
Yeah. I remember one time, my family still talk about it. I remember I would have been year 9, year 8, and I remember my family being like, we'll go around in the circle, like, what do you guys want to do when you're older? And my cousins were saying, and I was just like, I'm not going to work a day in my life. Like, telling my parents, I'm not going to work. I'm going to play rugby. And they're like, Mum was like, come on now. I'm like, you need to, what else are you going to do? I'm like, nah, rugby. And then I just, from then on, and that's still like a joke we have with the family. It's just like, it's actually like almost spoken to existence. So,
yeah. Mate, what you believe you'll achieve.
Yeah, that's it.
Mate, how good. Well, we have gone to the Instagram for some questions. So many good ones. What player do you think you most play like?
Wouldn't say I play like him. I wish I, mold my game around that guy, Rich.
Oh, I knew it would be Rich. It's very similar style.
Nah, just mold my game around him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The feet, the vision, back yourself, skill set.
Winner. Try to be a winner.
Winner. Yeah. That's it. Like that. Okay. What's it been like having James O'Connor in the squad?
Oh, he's been unreal, Like, he's like, probably a bit hard on me, which I enjoy. Like, he doesn't let me get off with. If we go out kicking, like, he's on me about it. Like, he's just taught me a lot. Like, in this short span, like, he's almost taken me under his wing.
Yeah.
Even on, like, Sunday, like this Sunday, I get off the plane, I go home, I'm about to fall asleep, and he gives me a call. He's like, get in, we're going to do recovery. I was like, oh. And then little things like that, he's just been like, and it like sort of means a lot to me, because I know he's got a busy life, so I know he's taking time out of that to put into me. So I've just been, taking every opportunity and just asking him so many questions. Yeah, so I've been loving it.
Which he's more than happy to answer, Like, he loves talking footy.
Yeah, you'd send him a sentence as a message, you'll get back 2 paragraphs, as well as probably another 4 after that. So, it's been good.
It's been awesome seeing how invested he is in your development as a coach from afar, watching you two train together, have your conversations, be at the computer screen together. Been awesome seeing that, how much he's put into you.
Yeah, he's almost given me like another level of confidence as well. Like, I remember a few weeks into preseason, I was like confident, but I remember him just like sitting me down and be like, bro, this is the type of player you could be if you can nail this type of thing. And I just remember, he actually and I could tell coming from him, you're just like, holy.
Yeah.
And then I just remember he just every week just on me,
He even labelled you the most talented 10 in the world or ever, didn't he?
ever. Oh my god, that was good.
But he obviously sees the ability that you've got, and trying to nurture that to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I'm just loving it. I'm just grateful for everything he's doing for me, and he's going to continue to do for me. And yeah, I'm just taking it day by day with him.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay, worst part about living with Noah?
Right, which one? I'd say how stubborn he is.
Yeah.
Holy, but like he's real clean. But he's like OCD as well. So it's like something little, like tiny, and he's just like into the world. Comes at you, and you're like, mate, chill out, come on. But yeah, and if you get into an argument with him, any viewers watching, like, just walk away. Like, even with rugby, like, holy, man, he'll throw a pass in my knees, and it's someone else's fault, not his. It's my fault probably. So it's just probably him. Yeah.
Okay. Will he ever get a HBHS tattoo?
No. It was like a few of the boys.
Did they all get them when
your
year was
a couple
it?
of my mates got them, but yeah, I'm not really that interested to it. I loved it, but I didn't love it that much. Not part of that.
Okay. Who else besides yourself do you see as a future All Black in the 10 jersey?
There's been a few like out lately. A good mate, Harry Godfrey.
Oh yeah,
Love watching him. Like
he's class, eh?
He's been unreal. Who else have I been sort of watching? I've been enjoying watching Josh Jacob as well.
Oh yeah.
He's been good.
Yeah,
like he's been ripping up for the Chiefs. So yeah,
couple of good shouts.
Yeah, so those two probably on my mind at the moment. So
yeah,
pretty good.
Like it. Okay, what's one thing that you would love to achieve in your career that most people won't think you can?
Probably that thing that we talked about before with the touch.
Yeah. Touch World Cup.
Touch World Cup's probably the main one for me, like getting to one of those and just having a crack. But yeah, probably that.
Yeah. Jeez, I want to pick that. No. And so Rugby World Cup, is that a dream?
Yeah, 100%. I'll be like
Touch World Cup.
Touch World Cup, Rugby World Cup.
Far out. Love it. Okay, how did you become such a good kicker?
Is that a joke?
No.
When I'm kicking good?
Yeah.
Probably as I said before, like you get all these. What I struggle with is when you get a kicking coach and they're trying to change a lot.
Oh, I found the same
and
thing.
It's just like you just feel so unnatural, and it's just like
yeah.
So yeah, probably that. Like just obviously you get your natural swing and just work with it. Don't try change your mechanics, or because I've had a few kicking coaches that have like, no, you need to do it like this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I don't kick like that. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
And when people tell me to coach someone's kicking, I'm always so reluctant to say or change anything.
Yeah,
because
100.
you watch Dan Hawkins kick, who's got the technically worst goal kick in world rugby, who consistently kicks above 90%, and you get some guys who just make it work. So you can be technically as good as you want, doesn't it?
100. Yeah, it's just honestly just working with it. Like,
Yeah.
it just rattles me too when guys come in. Like that's why Jock's good. Like he doesn't want to change. He just sort of adjusts to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it. Just trust your natural swing and just work with it from there.
Love it. It's good advice. Okay, what's it like leading the haka?
It's weird. It's a weird feeling. Like I reckon you're like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like an out of body experience. I don't know. It's like because you're so like nervous, but like you can't half-ass it. You just got to rip in. And then I think when I was at the Crusaders, like I was my second or first year, and I remember getting a call from Tams because he usually leads it.
Yeah,
and he was an All Black. So when we do the haka to the All Blacks, and then Codes is obviously an All Black. So there's not many other Māoris in the team. So we're like just running short here. So I was like, oh, and then Tams was like, you're leading the haka, little Māoris. I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So there's no one else. But there actually isn't. So remember, because I led it through school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when I led the Crusaders, I just had to rip the head off it.
Yeah.
And hopefully the boys back you up, which they did. So I just sort of love it. You must just
Yeah, I was always wondering if it's intimidating to lead it, but
Oh, it is intimidating.
Yeah.
It's probably before you're just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But once you're into it, like
You're in it.
you're just in it.
Yeah. And it would have been cool to lead it in some of those pre-season games last year and sold out Munster and the crowd at Bristol.
Yeah, that was crazy. I just remember just running out and just like, I'm actually leading. Like, I'm leading the haka here. And then you watch videos back and you're like, fuck, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just, wouldn't say I like would want to do it, but I think when the opportunity arises, like, just take it.
Okay, how do you plan to invest to set yourself up for life after rugby? Especially with no plan B.
Yeah, I need it. This is my plan B. Well, I've recently bought a house.
Yeah, well done.
So yeah, probably like property where I'll invest like as I go, but just making connections as well. Like when you're in the rugby space, like a lot of the older boys say, like once you finish rugby, it's hard to start connecting with new people. So if you can build those connections while you're, I don't know, like sought after, I guess. So yeah, and I just think while you're getting this like sort of good money while you're playing, like you've got to be pretty smart with it, and I think it would set you up after footy. So yeah.
How have you been smart with it, like to buy a house already? You're 21 years old.
Probably like not living like, because you're around guys that are earning some good coin. So like making sure like, you know, like you're living beyond like in your means. Because sometimes you're seeing some of these guys get some crazy stuff and you're like, I could get that. And it's like, I can't. So just making sure you're not shouting too many rounds, you know, that type. But yeah, I think being smart, but also like being like not being a tight ass like Noah, like the biggest tight ass. Still going on trips and like enjoying your youth while you're there, but like you know, making sure
finding that balance.
Yeah, finding a good balance.
Not reckless, but
and just not tight ass.
Not reckless, but not too tight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, a couple more. How have you coped with injury setbacks?
How I coped. I think with my major one was like a bit different to other injuries, but probably like making a plan like, and just tell yourself like when I come back, like I was sort of like pretty ruthless in that. Like when I come back, like I'm not going to hold back or something like that, because you realize when you're not playing how much you actually love rugby. Yeah. So I reckon because I was sort of not taking it for granted, but you stop playing rugby, you're like, actually, like I want to be training every day. I want to be playing on the weekends and big games. So I think like, each person's different, but for me, like it was about like I was just so keen and just like had a good plan. But like when I came back, I knew like I'm not leaving any stone unturned.
Yeah, that's cool. It's sort of like you don't realise how good you've got it till it's gone.
Yeah.
And 100. Getting injured sometimes reminds you that shit. That those hard trainings are actually enjoyable.
Yeah, 100. Oh, yeah. Actually, like that's why preseason, like it was hard, but I just like was like at least I'm out here.
Yeah,
mate,
love it. Okay, how has fantasy rugby changed the social media abuse?
Like I don't read into social media, but
what about in public? Have you got any?
Yeah, I've had a few.
Have you?
Yeah. I remember after there's just a few like I think it's good. Like I like when people banter with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like super fantasy is probably the main like when people come up to you.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like you're like, oh, you're cool to have you in your team. Like it's cool. But then like it gets to a point where you're like, mate, like I don't really care. To be fair, as long as my team's winning, I'm happy. I don't care what your fantasy score is. Had a guy come up to me the other week. I triple captained you and you missed all these games. Got me this, and I was like, fuck, mate, come on. I don't really care. Just like, it's probably like. I'd say social media, but in person, you hear quite a bit.
Like, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting, eh? Ask him why he was known as a minion from Despicable Me. Obviously from Noah.
This is when I was fat too, so chubby.
Big boned.
Yeah, just wide hipped. I like had a minion onesie.
Oh, did you?
And like, I don't know if they were bullying me or like, I wore it. We went to sports camp or something like that, and I wore it. Yeah, thinking like, this is my like normal pajamas. Like I'm gonna wear it. Maybe they just all like started laughing at me, like you're a minion, like, and I was fat too. That's so like you're a chubby minion. Like show me pictures of like the short fat minions. So I'm just like, and I just had to relish it. I was like, what am I gonna do? All these guys, because in like the camp, there's like all these bunks, and they're all like, on thing. I'm in the middle, like standing around. There's probably like 12 people in there.
Yeah.
All these people looking at me. I'm just like, what do I do? I thought it was a good idea to rip out. Have you heard the banana song?
Yeah.
I've just ripped it out, thinking like it's funny. And these guys are all like laughing. I'm thinking they're laughing with me. I just finished and they're all like laughing at me. And I just remember being like, thinking I was the man because I'd like made everyone laugh. And I just remember that day on, everyone would just like, no, they wouldn't bully me, but they'd just be like, that's the minion guy. You're a minion. I was like, wow. Yeah, that's how I become the minion. It's just like, even when I get on, like, if I catch up with a few beers, a few of the boys from back then, like, sing it. It's like, no. But embarrassed.
Oh, that's funny. Did you find like you copped a bit, like you have a bit of scar tissue around being chubby, or?
To be fair, like, I did when I was young. Like, I know now, like, even like when I have like little like cousins or something, I never ever call them chubby or fat because I know how it is to be called that. So I just like stay away from it, or like, you know, kids or, you know, people. But I wouldn't say I have scar tissue now.
Yeah.
Probably not like a.
Because now you're shredded.
No, I'm not shredded yet. Still got a bit of hernia on the hips. But I used to get cut a bit when I was young, but now it's all good.
Yes, good stuff. Okay. How'd you get so fast?
Oh, I wouldn't say like I trained like speed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember like, I'm not saying I'm fast, like a Macca Springer or something, but I don't know. It's probably touch like just off the mark. Like, you probably like just get it as you keep playing. I wouldn't say like I've gone and done speed training or acceleration training or anything like that. It's probably just, I don't know. I actually don't know. just natural. Natural. Would love to have a good story about that.
Okay, last question. Best piece of advice for a Woodlad listener?
Ooh. I wouldn't say advice.
Yeah.
Probably like a quote. It's like, if a bird lands on a branch, does it trust the branch or does it trust its wings?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's just about, you know, backing yourself and being confident wherever you are.
Yeah. Mate, wasn't expecting that. That was powerful.
Yeah.
Quote to finish.
Yeah. No, it's probably something I remember seeing it when I was injured.
Yeah.
And I remember just like, when I come back,
That's
my
cool.
wings.
Mate, back your wings. Love that. And, mate, you've done that. Look at the way you've come back from your injuries and a relatively tough year last year and just absolutely dominating it. So it's been awesome to work with you and awesome to hear your journey, and I'm looking forward to what's around the corner because I know it's just getting started for you. You got plenty of rugby left. Only 21 years old, hard to believe. And looking forward to following your journey and working with you for hopefully at least another 10 of those.
Yeah. That'll be good.
But awesome having you on, bro.
Cheers. Thanks, Jabba. Appreciate having me on. Been good.
You're a lad.